High in the cold northern lands of Norway, where snow-covered mountains meet the dark blue waters of the fjords, a stunning archaeological discovery has sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Beneath a quiet field in southeastern Norway, researchers unearthed something extraordinary, an enormous Viking ship buried beneath layers of earth and time. But what truly captivated investigators were not just the ship's ancient timbers, but the mysterious artifacts, symbols, and materials found within. Now, in Ancient Aliens Season 21, the episode, Norway's Mysterious Viking Discovery, explores a question that challenges both history and belief. Could the Vikings have had contact with beings not of this earth? The Vikings have always fascinated historians and adventurers alike. Known as fierce warriors and expert seafarers, they sailed across vast oceans centuries before the rest of Europe dared to explore the unknown. But behind their reputation for conquest lies a deeper mystery. The Norse people were astronomers, engineers, and storytellers who spoke of gods descending from the heavens, powerful beings like Odin and Thor who traveled between realms, wielding thunder and light. Were these merely myths, or were they ancient memories of encounters with visitors from the stars? The discovery that reignited this debate began with the Yellowstad ship, detected by archaeologists using ground-penetrating radar in 2018. What they found beneath the farmland was astonishing: a massive ship burial, remarkably preserved, and surrounded by strange circular formations and carved stones. These carvings, when analyzed, appeared to represent constellations and celestial alignments. Some even matched star patterns that would have been visible in the night sky thousands of years ago, long before the Viking Age began. To many researchers, this suggested that the Vikings possessed an advanced understanding of astronomy. But Ancient Aliens theorists propose a more extraordinary explanation: that this knowledge was given to them by beings who came from beyond our world. Eric von Daniken, one of the foremost advocates of the ancient astronaut theory, points out that Norse mythology often describes gods who descend from the heavens in flaming chariots or radiant ships. If you read these myths carefully, he says, they sound less like religion and more like eyewitness accounts of technology, machines of flight, energy weapons, and knowledge of the stars. The Vikings may have been describing visitors from another planet. Adding to the mystery are several metallic fragments found around the ship site. Some of these contain traces of titanium and vanadium, materials that would have been impossible to refine with Viking-era technology. Where did these metals come from? Were they pieces of meteorite, as some scientists suggest, or remnants of something far more advanced? The episode also highlights the incredible craftsmanship of Viking longships, vessels so sophisticated in design that even modern shipbuilders study them for inspiration. The hulls were shaped to cut effortlessly through waves, their balance precise enough to handle both stormy seas and shallow rivers. For their time, Viking engineering bordered on miraculous. Could their shipbuilding genius have been influenced by knowledge passed down from ancient visitors, beings who understood aerodynamics, hydrodynamics, and celestial navigation? Another aspect that fuels the mystery lies in the runic inscriptions found near the burial. While most symbols fit traditional Norse patterns, a few show intricate geometric arrangements resembling circuit diagrams or technical schematics. Scholars remain puzzled by their meaning, while ancient astronaut theorists believe they could represent forgotten forms of technology, encoded knowledge preserved through myth and art. To uncover deeper clues, Ancient Aliens travels to other sites across Scandinavia, from the mystical rock carvings of Alta in northern Norway to the burial mounds of Vestfold. At Alta, petroglyphs thousands of years old depict humanoid figures surrounded by what appear to be flying discs and beams of light descending from the sky. These images long predate Viking civilization, yet they echo the same stories of sky gods found throughout Norse mythology. Could this continuity of imagery across centuries be evidence of ongoing contact with extraterrestrial visitors? Norse cosmology itself seems to hint at an understanding of dimensions and interconnected worlds. The myth of Yggdrasil, the great cosmic tree linking all realms, might represent a symbolic map of the universe, or perhaps a forgotten description of a multidimensional system of travel. The gods of Asgard, often portrayed as travelers between realms, could have been advanced beings moving through portals or wormholes, concepts that modern physics is only beginning to explore. As the episode unfolds, experts examine the parallels between Norse mythology and other ancient traditions. Across the world, from Egypt to Mesoamerica, civilizations describe sky visitors who brought knowledge, power, and technology. The pattern is too consistent, some say, to be coincidence. If all these legends are connected, could the Vikings have been part of a global network of early human civilizations influenced, or even guided, by extraterrestrial intelligence. Still, mainstream archaeologists remain cautious. Professor Ingrid Lundy of the University of Oslo reminds viewers that not every mystery needs an alien explanation. The Vikings were brilliant observers of nature, she says. They understood the stars because their survival depended on it. Their myths reflect a culture deeply connected to both the physical and spiritual world. Yet even she admits that certain findings, like the precision of their astronomical alignments and the purity of their metalwork, remain difficult to explain. Ancient Aliens presents the evidence with its trademark blend of science, speculation, and imagination. Through 3D reconstructions, digital analysis, and expert interviews, the episode invites viewers to re-examine what they know about the past. It suggests that the Vikings may not have been just warriors or sailors, but chosen messengers, guardians of cosmic knowledge left behind by ancient visitors. Could the Yellowstad ship be more than a burial vessel? Some believe it may have been a symbolic representation of a spacecraft, a chariot meant to carry its occupant into the stars. Its orientation and structure align perfectly with certain celestial events, such as the solstice sunrise and the rising of Sirius, the same star revered by ancient Egyptian and Sumerian cultures. Coincidence, or evidence of a shared origin that transcends time and geography? As the episode concludes, one thing becomes clear: Norway's mysterious Viking discovery challenges everything we thought we knew about human history. Whether the answer lies in lost technology, ancient wisdom, or contact with extraterrestrial beings, the implications are profound. Perhaps the true story of the Vikings is not only about conquest and exploration across the seas, but about a civilization that looked to the stars for guidance and, possibly, received it. In the end, Norway's mysterious Viking discovery leaves us with a haunting question: were the gods of the North truly divine, or were they ancient visitors who shaped the destiny of humankind? As researchers continue their excavation of the Yellowstad site, new findings raise even more questions than answers. Beneath the burial ship, archaeologists uncovered layers of blackened soil, suggesting that something intense, possibly a fire or an energy discharge, occurred centuries ago. What was once thought to be a simple Viking burial mound now appears to have been a complex ritual site, aligned with celestial and magnetic patterns that seem far too precise for the tools and knowledge of the 9th century. In Ancient Aliens Season 21, the episode, Norway's Mysterious Viking Discovery, takes viewers deep into this enigma, exploring whether the Vikings were part of a forgotten era of contact between humankind and extraterrestrial visitors. Could the gods of Asgard, the mighty Odin, Thor, and Freya, have been flesh and blood beings from the stars? Ancient astronaut theorists point to multiple clues hidden in Viking mythology. In the Poetic Edda, one of the oldest collections of Norse legends, Odin is described as descending from the heavens in a shining chariot. Thor, the god of thunder, is said to wield Mjolnir, a hammer that could summon lightning and destroy mountains. Were these gods simply mythological personifications of natural forces, or could they have been advanced beings using technology mistaken for magic? Dr. Giorgio A. Sokolos, a leading Ancient Aliens researcher, argues that these tales are more literal than symbolic. When ancient texts describe weapons that shoot lightning, or vehicles that fly through the air, we have to consider the possibility that these were real machines. The Vikings, like many ancient cultures, may have interacted with extraterrestrial teachers who were worshipped as gods. But the evidence goes beyond mythology. At several Viking sites across Norway and Sweden, archaeologists have discovered Ulfberht swords, legendary blades known for their unmatched strength and purity. The carbon content of the steel is so high that it rivals modern industrial metal. For centuries, blacksmiths puzzled over how these weapons were made. Some suggested that the Vikings used fragments of meteorite iron, while others believed the knowledge to forge them was passed down from a lost civilization, or even given by alien visitors. The Yellowstad artifacts only deepened this theory. Among the grave goods were fragments of metal that contained isotopic ratios inconsistent with any known Earth source. Metallurgical analysis revealed traces of elements rarely found in Scandinavian soil, including iridium, an element often associated with asteroids. Could this suggest extraterrestrial origin? Or perhaps the Vikings themselves knew how to harness cosmic materials? Ancient Aliens explores this possibility by comparing the Vikings' ship burials with other ancient traditions. Across the world, from Egypt to South America, civilizations buried their dead with symbols of flight, boats, chariots, or winged creatures, representing a journey to the afterlife. The Vikings believed that fallen warriors would sail to Valhalla aboard glowing ships that flew through the sky. Could these, sky ships, have been based on something real, craft the ancients once witnessed with their own eyes. Modern radar scans reveal that the Yellowstad site is not an isolated discovery. Beneath the surrounding farmland lie traces of additional geometric formations, rings and corridors connecting to the ship burial in a pattern resembling circuitry. Some theorists propose that these were not random, but part of a vast energy grid, a design possibly meant to channel or communicate with forces beyond Earth. The alignment of these sites to astronomical events strengthens the mystery. The ship's bow points directly toward the position of the star Sirius during the winter solstice, an alignment shared by several ancient monuments worldwide, from the pyramids of Egypt to the temples of Mesopotamia. How could the Vikings, isolated in the far north, have replicated a pattern known across distant continents? Ancient astronaut theorists suggest a simple but profound answer. They all learned from the same teachers, visitors who traveled across the globe, sharing knowledge of the stars, engineering, and cosmic order. Meanwhile, local legends seem to echo this story. In remote Norwegian villages, oral traditions tell of the Lawsmen, the men of light. According to folklore, they descended from the northern lights, teaching early settlers navigation, farming, and metalwork before vanishing back into the skies. While historians dismiss these tales as fantasy, Ancient Aliens treats them as potential eyewitness accounts passed through generations. Some of the rock carvings near Alta show figures surrounded by circular halos or beams of light, imagery that many associate with divine or celestial beings. These ancient petroglyphs predate the Viking Age by thousands of years, yet their similarity to later Norse depictions of gods and sky chariots suggests a shared lineage of experience. Could it be that these men of light were the very same beings worshipped later as Odin and his kin? Modern scientists are divided. Professor Ingrid Lundy insists that all findings can be explained through natural and cultural evolution. The Vikings were keen observers of the stars, she notes. Their entire worldview was shaped by nature. The cosmic patterns in their art reflect their mythology, not extraterrestrial contact. Yet even she concedes that the advanced metallurgy and astronomical precision remain astonishingly ahead of their time. Ancient Aliens, however, challenges this cautious view. Through digital simulations, the show demonstrates how Viking longships mirror aerodynamic designs seen in aerospace technology. The curvature of the hulls, the distribution of weight, and the efficiency of motion through water all hint at mathematical knowledge of fluid dynamics that shouldn't have existed in the 9th century. Could the Vikings have been replicating something they once saw in the skies, craft that moved seamlessly through air and water alike? The episode culminates with a bold hypothesis. Perhaps the Vikings were not just warriors and explorers, but participants in a far older legacy, one of interstellar communication and divine encounter. The Yellowstad ship might have been more than a burial chamber. It could have been a symbolic recreation of the celestial ships used by their gods, an earthly tribute to their skyward mentors. As the episode concludes, we're left with haunting imagery, Viking runestones illuminated under starlight, their inscriptions still whispering across time. The voice of history seems to ask, who were the true architects of our civilization? If the Vikings, like the Sumerians, Egyptians, and Mayans, all looked to the heavens for their origins, perhaps they knew something we've forgotten, that humanity's journey did not begin on Earth alone. In the end, Norway's mysterious Viking discovery reminds us that the line between myth and reality is thinner than we imagine. The evidence buried beneath Norway's soil may one day reveal not only the story of a great civilization, but the truth of a connection that stretches beyond the stars. Perhaps the gods of the North were never gods at all, but travelers, visitors from the cosmos who ignited humanity's eternal quest to reach the heavens once again.